and welcome back to the Movie Marketing and Distribution Podcast, powered by Usher U. My name is Alex Stoltz, and as well as hosting this show, I'm head of film at Usher U and run a company called Future of Film. At Usher U, we are passionate about the topic of movie marketing and distribution, and we are driven by this desire, this passion to make this process easier, more cost-effective and impactful. To find out more about our solutions for distributors and national film organisations, as well as access all of our other podcasts and free resources, just head over to usheru.com today. I'll spell about that as USHERU, that's usheru.com, or just drop me a line at alex@usheru.com. So this is a show dedicated to the business and art of marketing and distribution, where we spotlight innovators, executives, entrepreneurs who are changing the game. And if being an innovator in a given field means often going against the flow, then we have the perfect guest today, Eduardo Escudero, who is founder and business manager of A Contracorriente Films. A beautiful word that Spanish speakers will obviously recognize means going against the current. Founded in 2010, A Contracorriente is a leading Spanish independent production and distribution company, which is, well, truly vertically integrated with 4 cinemas in Barcelona and Madrid, no less, as well as its own SVOD platform called Acontra Plus, as well as 2 cinema fast channels. Eduardo's previous career included senior roles at Filmax, DeAPlaneta, and Notro Films, and he is a board member of Europa Distribution. Eduardo, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I forgot to ask, are you based in Madrid? Is this where we find you today?
No, we are based in Barcelona. So in some manner, we are also against the current because everybody is based in Madrid in Spain, but we are based in Barcelona. Also another A Contracorriente point of us.
Well, I'm glad I clarified. And so I'd love to jump into that idea of going against the current. What does that mean to you as a business? How does that manifest in the company?
Well, I need to say that all the independent distributors, we go against the current because the current is strong, and we need to do a big effort to reach our goal. So we have that name. And what means for us, and we were born in 2010, as you mentioned, and we were born during an economic crisis, and everybody told us that we were crazy to start a new company, a distribution company, in those moments. But for us, it was an opportunity because we took very careful the lessons learned in the previous years. So we decided to create a kind of company that going step by step, taking the risk, but very carefully. So we had an opportunity, and we did. I think we did a great job. And at the beginning, we were lucky. Also in all the business world, you need to have some good luck in some moments. Obviously, people say that the good luck needs to find you working in the right direction, and perhaps we work in the right direction. But we also need to recognize that we were lucky at the beginning. So, but since the very first moment, we decided to not to do exactly with other colleagues or other distribution companies were doing exactly at the same moment. We take some good decisions at the beginning, also in terms of marketing. That's one of the subjects of this meeting, of this interview. We decided very early that we needed to build a strong database of our clients, and we make a tremendous effort also in terms of money since the very first moment, trying to capture email directions. At that moment was email directions from the people attending to the cinemas to attend to our film. So we created a program of collecting a huge amount of email addresses. In fact, we are now more than 300. We have now more than 350,000 email addresses of people who goes to the cinema. No, it is not people who goes to the supermarket and we capture the addresses in the supermarket. You love cinema? No. These people who attended to the cinema, and we have a really good database that we have improved the management with CRM softwares and tools, and now we are happy how this works. So since the very first moment, one of the differences is that we put special attention to this, to communicate directly in some manner with an email, which is not perhaps the best bi-directional tool, but at least we could contact with our, and we use a lot during the first years in the early 2010, 2011, 2012, 2014, we use a lot. But if we continue using that, not just informing our database that a new release is coming, also interacting with them, because we make many tests with them. No? We leave our users, our A Contracorriente followers to interact with us. Giving them the option to choose between one poster or another poster, between a trailer or another, inviting them to premieres or screening tests more than premieres, and we learn a lot from this experience. We choose. So in that case, it's not just to have a database; it's to use it in order to make a more accurate campaign for the release of a film. Obviously, this is not only made through the database of hundreds of thousands of emails. It's also, we are also playing with the possibilities that social media give us on this sense, trying to also to put some money in posters and trailers and obtain the feedback if we are to confirm that we are targeting the right audience for that content. So something that we do since the beginning. But at the end, all these are tools to do what the distributors always have been done. It's to reach the audience, and I'm sure in another way, other colleagues from the distribution field are doing in another manner. So the key point is to reach your audience, and we are using the tools that technology allows to use right now.
Well, that's extraordinary, I think, and incredibly prescient for you to be thinking about first-party data at that time, and to have that level of direct contact with your audience. I want to get into this more, but just because this first part, as you know, we obviously we work with A Contracorriente. You know how committed we are to like first party data and trying to understand your audience more and stuff. So we must talk about this more. But I wanted to just clarify just about the start. It's 2010. There's a financial crisis. You decide to start a distribution company. Was it just for distribution to start with, and then the cinemas came afterwards?
No, we started just with the distribution company, obviously, because it was our experience. A Contracorriente is founded by me, by Adolfo Blanco, who is our CEO and partner since many years ago, but also other key members of A Contracorriente, the managing director of theatrical marketing, the financial chief officer, the head of acquisitions, the head of production, film production, the head of home entertainment and platforms and TV operators. We are all shareholders of A Contracorriente. So we're founded in another way, so the key members, the key staff, it's involved in another way than perhaps just an executive can be involved in other kind of things. So I need to point out that we created because we came from past experience being distributors, just distributors. We created A Contracorriente, but was very soon we realized that for us was also very important to do many things, to have theaters in Madrid and Barcelona. We are key cities in Spain, as everybody knows, and we enter in the exhibition field, but not trying to be a big a key player in the exhibition business in Spain. We just have two good cinemas, Verdi Madrid and Vértice Barcelona, what are kind of temple for the art house cinema, for the independent cinema. So we were very focused to have those kind of cinemas. We were not interested to manage theaters in big mall stores or something like this. No, in the middle of the city, very well known, and the temple of our house cinema. So was very to aggregate this business was very natural for us. It was a natural decision. And very soon also we realized that, obviously we manage a good distribution. Why not to start to produce and co-produce? And very soon, in 2017, we won the Goya for the best feature film. Was the Bookshop, directed by Isabel Cochet. It was a film shoot in English shoot in Belfast, but it should like to be happening in England. But we have a big success in terms of box office, but also the recognition of the Spanish industry with these Goya awards, and was very important also for us. So we decided to keep going with the production, and we are entering in 3-4 productions per year. And from time to time, not every year, we are the leaders of one production. And this year it will happen with a film that it's already complete shooting and already in post-production finalizing. It's the movie Teller. It has been shot in Chile. It's Spanish-speaking film. It's embankment selling worldwide, selling very well, but it has a wonderful talent involved in the film. So,
what sort of budget range are you producing?
Well, in this case, the movie Teller is around 10 million euros. So for us, it's a big film. So we have Berenice Bejo, Antonio de la Torre, who is a very well-known Spanish actor, a very good one. We have the director is Lone Sheffield, the Danish director that was really well welcome with an education, Italiano for principiants. I don't know the name in Italian for beginners. I think it was the title. So she's the director and Lone, and he has done a wonderful job in the shooting, and so it's a big production in shooting in Atacama Desert. So hopefully came also with a good business, because the film is wonderful.
Is that has it been sold? Sorry, I'm just interested in this. Has it been sold yet internationally? Is that launching?
Yes, in Bangman is selling well, but it will be present in this Cannes market.
Yeah.
It will start the deployment of the more important sales, more important territories. So the most important territories will come, I hope, in the next months.
Yes, sorry, I interjected. You were talking about the growth of the business and entering production. And then you decided to, at what point did you start a streaming platform?
Well, at the end, we didn't invent anything because we saw that our colleagues of distribution, also another independent distributors in Spain, joined forces to create Filming, which is a real good company in Spain. Filming, it's a subscription video on demand service, but it's the joint venture of small independent distribution companies. And we decided, well, they have this one. We know that Disney is planning one, Netflix is here, Amazon is here, Paramount and Universal were talking about 2019, 2020 beginning. So we had very clear the idea to create our own platform. We were in the process while the lockdown arrived in March 2020, and we decided this is the moment to launch our first platform. It had another name, was Sala Virtual de Cine. We tried to replicate what Pickle, for example, Pickle was doing in the Netherlands, trying to connect the audience of the cinemas, of the theater, because we take care of theaters and we manage theater, but also because we really strongly believe that there is no better place to create a brand than in a cinema. So we are strong defenders of the strong defenders of the cinema experience in theaters. So we decide very soon to have a platform that try to connect the cinemas with the audience of the cinemas with this, giving some share revenues from each movie attendant that came from a cinema to our platforms. And we put this on, we launched this platform on April 7, 2020. I think at that moment, the idea was good, was well received by some exhibitors, independent exhibitors. Big chains were a little bit shocked about the situation of the closure of the cinemas, and was not perhaps the best moment to accept this reality. Also, the news that started to arrive that Disney is not going to stop the releases; they are going to launch Disney Plus, and Warner is going to launch HBO Max or HBO, and they are going to day and day with the releases, put in a very uncomfortable situation exhibitors that are more focused on blockbusters, and where the project, unfortunately, it didn't achieve to convince as many exhibitors as we planned. And in addition, we discovered that it was also only a premium transactional video on demand platform. And we decided that after some months, after the lockdown, when the lockdown was over, the people decide not to buy more transactional and to go outside. But if they have a subscription, the transactional video on demand model became an exception, a small business. So we decide, okay, we are A Contracorriente. During the last 10 years, we have created a brand around our name. Everybody who loves our kind of cinema knows who is A Contracorriente. So why not to change not only the brand, not longer Sala Virtual de Cine, and to change to Acontra Plus, trying to copy. Everybody in Spain knows what means plus after a name. It's a platform. Looks like a platform. It's a platform. So we decided not to be extremely creative and to play with our name, Acontra Plus. But not only was a rebranding in terms of image and name, also was rebranding of concept. We maintain the transactional video on demand, but it's a subscription video on demand service. And because we discover during that process of learning of that with our platform, transactional video on demand platform, that to reach, promote every single film that arrives to the transactional video on demand service costs more or less the same to reach, to promote a subscription, a monthly subscription. So same effort, or pretty much the same effort, to obtain a subscriber, hopefully for many, many months, hopefully forever. The effort is useless with the transactional video on demand, and means something with the promotional effort means something with the subscription video on demand service. So we decided to move to that. We are extremely happy. We have our own OTT, but also available in all kind of devices, smart TV, Amazon Fire, Apple TV, yes, LG, Samsung, Android TV, iPad, iPhones, well, everything available. But also we were lucky to be accepted of one of the Amazon Prime Video channels, and we are also, Acontra Plus is one of the services you can subscribe in addition to your subscription of Amazon Prime Video. And it's really helpful for us. So we have our platform, and we decided in 2021 to join Samsung TV Plus with our two FAT channels. One is, and we decide to use the brand of our cinemas. The channels are named Cines Verdi TV, and the other is Feel Good by Verdi TV. So the brand of our cinemas in Madrid and Barcelona, Verdi Cinemas, is there also. Obviously, Verdi, Cines Verdi TV is focused on more art house films in original version films, also accepts black and white films, so classic films. But Feel Good is more open to all kind of things that makes the audience to feel good. Comedies, cooking, books, travels. So films are around those concepts. So with both channels, we have increased a lot the distribution. We start just in Samsung. Now we are in LG, Orange, Agile, Xiaomi, TV5, Runtime, and other providers other distributors of the feed are coming. And we have also learned a lot during the last almost 2 years. All these learnings are sometimes not give you some kind of punishment in terms of business, but you need to take to learn from what you are not doing well, and we learn, and now we are happy. We just start to see that this can be a complement, not a substitution of any traditional window, but a complement for a company like us that has 1,800 titles on catalog. So
wow. You've got that's a huge catalog.
Yes,
and these are fast channels, so they're free, ad supported.
Yes,
television. So how do you go about starting that? Do you have to negotiate the deals with the advertisers yourself, or does that come through the platform?
Well, obviously we are brave, but not but not so much. And we decide to manage the advertisement with a company dedicated to do that. And we decided to create a really light structure here to manage the channels. This is the key, because the incomes are not amazing. So you need to take care of the cost. However, the cost involved has nothing to do what it was representing to have a thematic channel 10 years ago. If you wanted to create a thematic channel in terms of control of signal, continuity, 24 hours, to pay a company to carry a carrier to put the signal in different platforms was extremely expensive. The good news about FAST are that the cost is a fraction. It's a fraction. But in June 2021, we were invited because a friend was thinking, you are thinking about FAST. We say, well, we have just started to learn about that, but have no idea. Why not? Adolfo and me say, why not? Let's go. But we have no idea to do it. So, but we decide to accept the challenge we created. We have learned not in the best way, but now we have a learning and we are happy with the decision at that moment.
Give me one of the main learnings you've taken.
Well, no, the learnings are that everything seems very easy when you start something, and I will do with almost no cost. It's a fraction. It is true, it's a fraction, but at the end, it's cost. It costs also in human resources, and you need some marketing, and you need some branding, and you need to negotiate with many companies. So at the end, it costs, and the incomes. The promised incomes at the beginning were not what we expected, but we are tuning the idea, and after almost 1 year and a half, we can say that we are happy with that decision, and to create our own subscription video on demand platform and the FAST channels. It's also a necessity, not just in terms of in business, but in terms of business. But look, we, the distributors, what we did in the past was, as I mentioned before, to reach the audience. Before, we have no other solution to reach our audience through third parties, and we continue doing, and we are happy to do it through exhibitors. We are continuing doing through, even if it's now small, through DVD, Blu-ray editions, but it is going very niche. But we continue to reach this audience also with wonderful editions. We are famous because how nice our editions in Spain in terms of Blu-ray. So we are happy. We are focused on that also. And we through other platforms, through other TV operators, to pay TV operators, we are reaching our audience. But however, when you manage a big catalog, at the end, only some of your films are playing with license in all these TV operators, in the big concept of TV operators, including video on demand platforms. So you need to find a way and hope, and thanks God we have the technology to do it now. You need to fulfill the mandate that producers or international sales agents do to you as distributor, and to have available, at least to have available all your titles, at least, and to move those titles to create something around those titles, no? Because if not, you are not using the abilities that technology gives you today, and we are not just doing that to use the capabilities to reach the ocean, because we need always to have, and the reason to have our own platform and to our fat channels, because we need to secure an exit to the ocean. We don't want to be the audiovisual Bolivia. We want to have, even if it's a small corridor, to have access to the sea. Sorry for the Bolivians, but no, it's a way to say that we want an access to the sea, and not to be only in third parties' hands. And why to do it? Why not to do it if we have the tools, the technology that allows you to do that? And to, in addition, tools, a subscription video on demand platform, and fat channels that gave you data, information about the consumption that you don't have from other third parties. And it's important also for us. We are having good moments, and we are having fun reading the data of our platforms and to see why and what is more consumed and why and what is not consumed, and trying to discover why.
Yeah, that makes so much sense. I think.
Yes. In addition, our subscription video on demand platform, Acontra Plus, has I think a really friendly positioning with respect to cinemas. It's the landing page. If you enter it's in Spanish. It's only available in Spain, but that's when you reach the landing page is Acontra Plus, the cinema who brings you to the cinema. Playing with the words, because the premium subscriber of our platform, premium, that means pay €4.99, just €4.99 per month. This is premium. The premium subscriber receive a free ticket to go to the cinema.
I was going to ask about this. Yeah, about how the data and the audiences work across cinema.
To screen on cinema one film of A Contracorriente, but we are open to offer other distributors films if those distributors wants to be added to the program. And we get one ticket per month. So hopefully not our all clients from Acontra Plus are antisocial, and hopefully they have friends, and with this free ticket they goes to the cinema with more people. So, but the Notro is not only in Barcelona, Madrid. We have 65 cinemas in the program. We would like to increase the number of cinemas and the number of cities, but we are working on this. But this is already 65 cinemas, so not bad. There are many people who is able to receive the free voucher every month to go to the cinema to screen a film, and because we strongly believe in the connection. The people who goes to the cinema to enjoy a film is the people who enjoys paying service, who enjoys films in a paying service or not subscription video on demand service. It's the same people. We are not, and sometimes I understand the concern of my colleagues from exhibition, but sometimes we forget that. Unfortunately, we are releasing in Spain an average of 14 films per week, 14 per week. So it's impossible, even if we focus on 4 or 5, the most important of every week, it's impossible. And every week arrive 5 films that could be interesting to you. So even if you go weekly to the cinema, that it could be wonderful. It would be a kind of person that deserves a monument. If you go once per week to the cinema, it's impossible. You will miss 20 films per month on cinemas. So being so difficult so aggressive the competence, so the competition. So we need to create synergies between the platforms and the cinemas. It's a reality, and more for independent cinema that it's hard to find release space outside the big cities. So what happens with perhaps 35 million of Spanish inhabitants that doesn't have a cinema playing that film? So, but again, we respect the windows, we defend the windows, perhaps not a 100 days window, but we strongly defend the window. But it depends, obviously, case by case. It depends on the product. It's not the same a documentary that it's released as an event cinema release with 2 or 3 screens cannot be forced to have the same, to follow the rules of a film that you want to release with 300 cinemas and all showtimes playing top. I understand that we need to find a balanced way to do this business.
You're listening to the Movie Marketing and Distribution podcast powered by UsherU. How is your marketing strategy right now? Are there areas you want to improve? Or perhaps you are looking for some fresh inspiration and ideas on how to remain ahead of the curve? Well, the UsherU Marketing Scorecard is a completely free resource to identify your marketing strengths and opportunities in less than 5 minutes. Head over to scorecard.usheru.com and you'll receive a personalized report on your marketing, what's working well, areas of improvement, and quick wins. So that's scorecard.usheru.com. Score your marketing today with UsherU at scorecard.usheru.com. And now back to the show. You mentioned pickle earlier, and we had Noortje van der Sand on the show recently, and she was saying the same thing, of course, but they'd researched it. Same audience watching online, as it's clear, it's film fans, right? I have a very technical question for you. The free tickets to the cinemas, how do you do the redemption at the box office? Is that a QR code or is that like an email? How have you solved that problem?
You, as a subscriber of Acontra Plus, premium subscriber of Acontra Plus, you receive an email every month. You can choose among those films, you select those, and you receive a voucher QR that you present at the box office of the cinemas that are part of the program. And they obviously, it's a negotiation with the cinemas. They charge us an amount already negotiated for that ticket.
Yes, like a flat fee. Yeah. This is amazing. I talk a bit more about how you segment your audiences, because you have so many different data sources. You've got the cinema audience, you've got the Contra Plus audience, fast channel data, I guess. You've got the data from the UsherU discovery platform. How do you put all that together? And can you tell me some more about how you use it?
I need to recognize that we are not happy with how we are treating the different. This is a pending issue for us. So we are not doing everything well, as you can see. We do many things very well, but not this. No, we are trying how to do it. Obviously, the daily work on our many theatrical releases and our many actions that we have. It's not easy to find space to see it and say, well, we are going to put all these together, but we will do because it's something we have done. It's now we are acting more from, the theatrical marketing is taking the data that they need, and the people from Acontra Plus is taking the data also, and we try to do crossed actions between the theatrical marketing and Acontra Plus, but it's not we need to improve that side.
Well, it's the first problem is getting the data in the first place, because so many distributors don't get that data. They don't prioritize getting the first party data, the emails, but you have that. So that's the first big problem solved. And yeah, I can see it's a lot, but maybe getting a PhD student in to work on it or something. It could be a fascinating project for someone to get into it. But yeah, very, very exciting. Eduardo, talking about the wider industry, we've touched on it a bit with Windows and audience behavior and stuff. If you could fix one thing in the industry or change one thing, make it different, what is there something which comes to mind?
Well, I always say that what we really need is to be treated fairly, but it not means equally, fairly, with respect big players. I'm not trying to say equally, because we are not equal to Warner Bros. We are not equal to the Disney, obviously. Not far away from them. You know, there's another. We play football 5, and they play the Champions League. So, but from time to time, we could be in the same field and to do some score a nice goal, but we are not in the same boat, at least. Perhaps in the same sea, but not in the same boat. No, to be treated fairly, equally from third parties, obviously from cinemas, from the exhibition side, in the television, traditional TV, in the traditional pay TV, in the subscription video on demand services. So to be treated fairly, not equal, fairly, proportional, and it's what we can request. And obviously, to have in Europe good policies to defend the diversity that European independent distributors represent. No, because I think I always say that we have a bad name. Distributor, it's not a good name. It's because you can have potatoes distributors and iron distributors or whatever, but and they are they perceive just a commission. They are just someone who's in the middle, who's a middleman.
Logistics.
No?
Logistics. Yeah.
It's in the middle, a middleman. No? The reason is. This is not the case of independent distributors. I think we add value, we position the film, we create booths, and we create a brand around film, and we are part of the success or of the disaster. Sometimes we commit mistakes, and this affects to the film, but also I think we have done in the past good jobs in order to increase the potential of a film. So it's important, the role of an independent. So for that reason, in France, they're very clever. They changed the name of this association of distributors, and they are publishers of cinema. And it's publishers.
The what of cinema? The
cinema publishers. Cinema publishers.
Publishers. Yeah.
Why not?
I like
because
that.
A book publisher buys a book from another publishing company in a Nordic territory and decide to distribute, to publish in Spain, to change the image of the book, to make the translation, to make a local promotion, and they are publishers. They are not book distributors, books distributors, and we are film distributors. Well, it's only a concept, but I think it doesn't represent what we do as film, as we do when we add value to the films.
Yeah, I love that. I completely agree, and Yeah, I think that's very smart. Repositioning distribution, publishing. This has been great. Tell me very briefly, maybe not briefly, but what Eduardo is a Contracorriente film. What do audiences expect from a Contracorriente film?
Well, we have very, very clear at the beginning of this company, we wanted just feel good movies. Feel good movies means doesn't mean that cannot end in a happy way, but at least it's creating some good feelings at that moment. Even if you cry at the end and it's the protagonist dies at the end, you exit the room, the screening room or your screening or at home, saying, "Wow, it was nice. I was something to feel." So that's a feel good. Obviously, if it's a comedy, it's very more clear that what the content of feel good is. So we specialize on that. We renounce at the very beginning of to buy for Spain or to distribute for Spain many things that were extremely good, but were treating subjects that cannot be considered under those. So we had that position, and at the beginning we maintained that position. But obviously our market share position also gives us the possibility to try different things, not putting in risk our company, and we, for example, we distributed EO recently. EO, the film about a donkey that was, and this is not the kind of feel good that was, but for us was an extraordinary film that we are proud to be the distributors, but we took that decision because what? Because we can, because we have the tools to try also to do more complicated things and or extraordinary films with putting in risk our company. And I think it's good to have that diversity and to, from time to time, to do films not so commercial or not so easy. Well, there is no easy film to position, but not with less angles to design your campaign.
Yeah,
not so obvious.
Yeah, it's increasing that breadth, and sometimes those films, like you mentioned, can be, because they're so specific, it can be there's opportunities there as well.
No, there is opportunity, and the business demonstrates right now after the pandemic and with the redundant that only those special films that films that have something special for the audience are those that are performing better proportionally. Yes, it's true. Now the people, it's choosing very wisely what they want to screen and to watch, and obviously they need to have not only a good campaign. They require not only a good campaign of promotion. They require that the film offer to them additional things, and they are succeeding now.
Well, it's just been great. I love what you're doing. It's been fascinating to find out more about the business and have this conversation. I really appreciate it. Just to finish off, Eduardo, what excites you about the future of the industry or the future of Contracorriente?
Well, the future is getting complicated. It's not. Even if we, among the independents, we are bigger independent in Spain, the biggest independent in Spain. We are small, and those talking again about the sea, the ocean. We are in the small boat. Others are in big ship, big destructors, in something very big, carriers. We are in a small fisherman's boat. But we talking about the future is complicated because we have a big dependence on big global players for our business. Hopefully, they still buying independent films from time to time. We don't need 200 films, but from us, but a portion of our library to be available with license in different operators and platforms. Hopefully, it's maintained in the future, but obviously we need to adapt because during the last 2-3 years has been extremely difficult to acquire good films for the independent market, because I can say that many of the best projects were leaving for global platforms. So it has been tough to find good product during the last 3 years. But it seems now that with all the news we are hearing about the global platforms that are thinking twice how they are going to invest the money in content, it seems that we can see less aggressive policy from them in terms of acquisition. They will pay a lot only for a few films, I think, my opinion, and hopefully we can again find good content with reasonable prices. No? But we have also a problem because this situation during the past years has created some kind of inflation in the prices of the films in the production and also in the acquisition field. So we need, or we expect that this can be decreased in some manner, and we can have a less risky, always risky, the business of an independent, a less risky business. But well, we are trying, and we will find also opportunities, either by the platforms, either by the fast channels, with the fast channels, either with the aggregation of platforms, global platforms that perhaps happens in the future, a kind of bundle that can need in the European and independent content. That is what we have more in the European independent content. So hopefully we can find those opportunities. It's plenty of opportunities, but also plenty of concerns about our future.
Yeah. Well, look, I think I have confidence that you will find a way. You've proven, you've innovated and moved quickly when you had to. So congratulations on that. And it's been great speaking to you, Eduardo. Thanks for taking the time.
Thank you for your time, Alex.
You've been listening to the Movie Marketing and Distribution podcast, powered by UsherU. If you want to know more about how UsherU can transform your marketing and distribution, just head over to usheru.com, or why not drop me an email at alex@usheru.com. But in the meantime, thank you again for listening, and look forward to welcoming you back on the podcast very soon.